Welcome to Off the Beaten Path in Germany with Family Tree Tours. Today we're going to talk about Germany in May. And May is a glorious time to visit Germany. Nature reawakens with a vengeance in May after a long, dark winter. The trees turn green and many flowers and trees blossom in May. The most beautiful colors of hydrangea and rhododendron I have ever seen bloom in May. Then add in the gorgeous carpet of the yellow rapeseed fields, and it is a scene of explosive color everywhere. I love when flying into Germany in May to look down and view the yellow fields mixed with the green and brown fields, which really gives it a look of a patchwork quilt. In many regions of Germany, people still throw May festivals to celebrate the end of the cold season and the start of the warm months. Traditional festivals include customs such as lighting bonfires, staging parades, setting up and decorating maypoles, dancing into May, and selecting a May king and queen. But it all starts the night before on April 30th into May the 1st, known as Walpurgisnacht, which means Walpurgis night, also called Hexennacht, Witches' Night. People believe that witches met and held an enormous celebration on Mount Brocken, the highest summit of the Harz mountain range. To protect house and home against witches and evil spirits, people would build what was called a witches' or May bonfire and dance around it. Other means of protecting against witches' pranks included hiding brooms, cracking whips, and banging on drums, setting out May bushes, and drawing white crucifixes on doorways. Although belief in witches and evil spirits has faded, the tradition of the witching hour persists in folklore and folk festivals. These celebrations on the Brocken, which is in eastern Germany, have become a major tourist attraction since reunification. So this is one of my off the beaten path destinations for this video, the Witches' Dancing Place. It's located in the town of Thale, Thale, in the Harz Mountains, the highest peak being Mount Brocken. And this is a map of the general area of the Harz Mountains in Germany. But there's no better way to fully appreciate the stunning beauty of Thale than by cable car. It takes visitors on a panoramic ride across the breathtaking Bode Valley all the way to the Hexentanzplatz, the Witches' Dancing Place. En route, you can catch views of the imposing Harz Mountains, endless greenery, craggy rocks, and gushing streams. Some of the gondolas, the light green ones, have glass floors, providing uninterrupted views of the deep valley, but they are probably not a good choice for the faint-hearted. So once in town, you will see a circle of large stones with some peculiar statues. The devil himself overlooks the witches' dancing place, along with some of his associates. And no, that is not a witch on the left-hand side there. And of course, being a tourist attraction, you can find souvenirs of any kind of witch you're looking for. There also is a Hexenhaus, a witch's house, which is an upside-down house and is a must-stop when you are in Hexentanzplatz. You will learn all about how a spell gone wrong turned everything topsy-turvy in this house. Other attractions in this area is a zoo, toboggan rides, hiking, of course, in the mountains, thermal water spa, another witch museum, and the area's claim to fame, the greatest steam railway in the world, the Harz Railway. With 3 interconnecting lines, it travels for 86 miles, stopping at 48 stations through the fairy tale villages of Germany's famous Harz Mountains. But back to Walpurgisnacht. That's when the May dance takes place. Traditionally, the dance happens around a big bonfire to scare away the evil ghosts and evil spirits with loud noises. When the fire's almost out, young lovers will often jump hand in hand over the burning embers. This unique custom is called Maisprung, or the May jump. And if you travel to Germany in the month of May, you're going to notice poles decorated with colorful ribbons, wreaths, or gild crest. They are what is known as maypoles, which can either be large poles located on the village square or sometimes smaller ones located near private homes. On May the 1st, the May tree, or maypole, which has been cut down in March, will be raised to welcome spring. All branches are removed and cleared so that only the log's trunk is left and used as the pole for decorating with garlands of fur and colorful ribbons, carved figures, and flowers. The tree is usually a birch because it is known as the tree of new beginnings. It's carried through the village accompanied by music under the watchful eyes of neighborhood spectators. Before being raised, the maypole can be stolen by mischievous neighboring villages. If it is successfully stolen, the town must pay for its return with a case of wine or beer. And the local associations are in charge of erecting and decorating maypoles. The small poles placed out near private homes are erected by young townsmen in honor of an unmarried girl living there. She can be the girlfriend, fiance, or beloved of the young man, or she can be a girl whom he won only for the month of May at an auction held by the village bachelors' clubs. Some bachelors' clubs set rules for the couples which they must observe in the period between the auction and the May festival. If the rules are broken, a penalty must be paid. The auctioning of the May brides takes place during Mardi Gras, or Easter season. The custom is widespread primarily in the Rhine region and has been practiced there since the 1500s. The bachelors can bid on any unmarried girl of the village whose name has been called out at the auction. The one who submits the highest bid for a girl becomes the May King. The auction girl becomes his queen. The two are promenaded through the village in a festive parade on May the 1st or Pentecost. In the Rhineland, a custom is still practiced today, with young ladies waiting anxiously to see if a Maibaum or a maypole has been placed near their house on May the 1st. In other regions, the May King and Queen are selected by other means. In Bavaria, the young men climb the maypole, which has been polished and sometimes covered with soap, in what is called the maypole scramble. The goal is to win the Brezeln und Würste, pretzels and sausages, that hang atop the pole, and of course to impress the girls down in the crowd. Whoever reaches the highest point is elected May King and may select his queen. The maypole and the dance around it is a major symbol of spring's reawakening and fruitfulness. The traditional maypole dance starts with long ribbons attached high up on the pole. Each dancer holds the end of a ribbon. The circle of the dancers begins far out from the pole, and they dance and circle the pole, braiding their ribbons over and over until it's completely covered. I do want to say that in my experience that I've seen many maypoles, either with trees on the top, garlands, ribbons, and guild signs, and these are usually in the village center, and that they've been there all year long. I'm sure there are many places that still cut down a tree yearly, but there are also a lot of permanent maypoles also. Also in May are May processions. As an expression of Catholic popular piety, May processions are often associated with the St. George or other pilgrimages. Hundreds, sometimes thousands of horsemen proceed through the fields and meadows riding on ornately decorated horses to ask God's blessing of man and beast. May customs in their current form are only a few hundred years old and vary from region to region, sometimes even from village to village. Spring festivals, however, already existed in pre-Christian times. The Celts and the Romans celebrated the fertility and strength of the earth. Among the Franconians, May the 1st was the day for the knights to stage tournaments and jousting games since the 8th century. And festive processions decorated with verdant greenery and foliage have been known to take place since the 13th century. I love the history and traditions that Germany still honors, and if you are lucky enough to be there in May, you can also celebrate with them. But wait, you can't come to Germany in May without partaking of Spargel. Germans are obsessed with Spargel, which is white asparagus, and May is a season for it. Spargel is on every menu and grocery store aisle during the Spargelzeit spring asparagus season, and the veggie is deliciously unavoidable. You can eat the vegetable directly from the source by shopping at the many Spargelhofer asparagus farms. Many feature restaurants and attractions for the whole family on these farms. You also will find it at the weekly farmers market most villages have. And how they keep the asparagus white is that they cover the mounds and limit the amount of light that gets in. So if you're there in May and you see fields that look like this, you know they're growing asparagus. There are special Spargel menus during this time where Spargel cream soup and all things Spargel are offered. It really is delicious, especially with some nice May wine. Spargelzeit also coincides with Erdbeeren, strawberry season, so pick up a box of sweets with your savory vegetables. And this is Schwetzingen in the northwest corner of Baden-Württemberg, and they claim the title of asparagus capital of the world. The asparagus market has been happening here on the first Saturday in May for decades. So if you walk through the city and look for the statue of the Spargelfrau, in which a woman is selling the beloved vegetable. And Schwetzingen is my second off the beaten path destination. As I said, it's located in the northwest part of Baden-Württemberg, near to the Rhine River and a little bit north of Speyer. It's famous for its palace. Schwetzingen Palace dates back to 1350, when a small moated castle occupied the site. After an eventful history, Schwetzingen flourished under the Palatine Prince-Elector Karl Theodor, who lived in the 1700s. This was the summer palace for the Prince-Electors, and so since they were here for the summer, the gardens were elaborate. We usually take an English guided tour through the palace on our tours, and then you can spend a long time walking through the garden on your own, although I do think they have garden tours also. There are many sculptures and different style gardens throughout this enormous grounds. And if you're there, you must visit the Roman-style bathhouse that's tucked away back in the corner of the gardens. Another area contains a large replica of a mosque. So these are my picks for the off-the-beaten-path destinations for this time, and I look forward to showing you more places that we have visited in upcoming videos. But in general, May is a wonderland for the senses in May. Beautiful scenery, fragrant flowers, and delicious produce to savor. All in all, a great time to visit.